Stand by live view 2.
3, 2, 1.
Up on live view 2.
In moments, the University of Louisville is expected to announce Scott Satterfield as its new head football coach. He's seen success at Appalachian State, and there's hope he can do that
Stand by
on a
2.
bigger stage at Louisville.
Minutes ago,
Dissolve.
the Athletic Association
Stand by
Board of Directors
ME2.
was set to vote
Clean.
on the hire, and the news conference is expected to begin at any
Tilt down
minute
for
to
me just a
formally
hair.
introduce the new coach that
Hold.
we've been hearing so much
Stand by
about
2 box.
over the last 24 hours. Or so.
Take.
Let's turn to
Stand by
WWE's
ENG1
Travis
with-
Travis, who was live at that press conference waiting for that big announcement. Hey, Travis.
And take.
Hey Gilbert, it looks like
All right, now set up a step box.
Delay here for this press
Put
conference.
A
as
in the big
we're
one.
waiting
What
for Scott Satterfield
What's
and
wrong?
the Athletic Association
just pulled his earpiece out,
board
but-
to finalize that contract. Presumably,
I reset the
vote
board
on
after
that.
we
Joined now here
do
by
that
WDRB's
CNN thing.
Eric Crawford. And Eric, I asked Tom Lane this earlier.
Yes, he can.
Wait. Just he can't hear that. Okay.
Well, they hope they're getting their
Stand by
next
A with
really
4041.
good coach and kind of
Under.
along the
We have a
lines
banner
of
for this,
Ball
Brendan?
has done with women's
Okay.
basketball, or Dan McDonald with the baseball.
Stand by
team.
2 dissolve.
Those are guys that
Stand by
came,
ME2.
they've never been head coaches before. And
Roll A,
immediately
dissolve.
Had success. McDonald's a regular in the college.
We're on
World
video.
Series.
You can get his
Ball's
attention.
a regular at the women's Final Four. That's the high end. Mainly, though, what you want is a guy that can come in, build a new culture, establish a new way of doing things for Louisville football.
Stand by to push
and kinda lay
back.
a solid foundation before he starts to try and build up.
Satterfield
And
obviously has been a head coach
push
before
back.
at Appalachian State. The past
Yes.
4 seasons, he's won over 40 games. He's won the Sun Belt Conference for the past 3 seasons, I believe. He's a guy that's well thought of.
Stand by
in
ENG1.
that level of football.
Stand by 2 dissolve.
But this is a different level here that we're talking about that he's going to be in now.
Absolutely, and that'll be the big question he has to answer almost immediately is in recruiting circles when he's working
Dissolve
with a
back.
deeper pool and a different pool of players,
do we have a
and he gets that
stat
player
graphic
to
for
attract
Rick?
top talent to Louisville.
Yeah.
But what nobody really has much question about his ability to do is to
'Cause
build
I
a
need
program,
the-
understand the game, to build a winning culture. He's done that at Appalachian State. They've
E4.
built a great reputation for
Put
running the
E4 in the
football,
stack.
those nearly beat Penn
Set up
State,
the
nearly beat
double-double
Tennessee. Very tough
of
to
this.
do at a smaller school without the resources.
Of
So he's had
ENG1
success.
on the
You know, one of the
right.
other things that goes into
Camera
taking
2
a
on the
head
left.
coaching job at a school like the University of Louisville. this
Camera
is
2,
very
loosen up.
different than App
Check
State.
your
App
returns on
State's
ME2.
football stadium
Stand by
Rock, as
A.
it's called, over in
VO
North
under.
Carolina.
Roll A,
They hold
dissolve.
about 30,000 people. He's walking into
We have a
Carson
do we have a
Stadium
stat
right now.
graphic?
There
Okay.
are other obligations that
And then I need the
probably that he didn't
non-logo,
have at
L2.
Appalachian State as well.
There
You
you
can see
go.
behind us a crowd's gathering. For
Stand by
his announcement
ENG1.
press conference. You probably didn't experience that before. What are some of the other things that he's going to have to experience for the first time here as he's becoming the head coach of a major college football program?
Well, I think there are some things that are very different in terms of the Atlantic Coast Conference and what he will envision. A lot of the things that are different.
Dissolve
from
back.
Right.
And some of them are good. I mean, some of the
All right, we will be 2 boxing back.
that are here, the facilities that players have, the tutoring they have. There's a lot of stuff that he will have access to here that he didn't have there. The competition, though, Clemson.
We'll go
Florida
clean
State,
on the
he
2
did
box.
those programs week in and week out, and a lot of media obligations that he didn't have before. And I think that's the biggest thing that some coaches have to adjust to. The fact.
How much longer are they on this?
Spokesman for such an important community resource.
Right.
That was the case in Boone. It's even more the case in Louisville, which is bigger.
Well, he immediately becomes the face
Stand by
of
2
this
box.
program moving forward, and he's got quite the turnaround job.
Shut your
to do
laptop,
here.
please, when we
You're
come to
looking
you.
at, almost a full rebuild of this program to get to where fans and boosters expect this program to be.
Yeah, one of the things, I mean, he's
Are you able to move the
developed-
2 box up to
everybody knows
ME1?
he was an offensive coach there, but he's developed into a really good defensive coach. They've been
Okay.
top 30 in the
Set up
nation
a
in
step
scoring
box.
all of his years at App State, except the first, and they're number 6 in the
Of
nation right now in total defense.
A and
lot of that's
ENG1.
because App State takes up so much time of possession. They run the ball.
Go ahead
a
and push
lot.
it back.
They keep the ball. That helps out the defense.
Stand by
If we can
under.
Get that going here at Louisville. It would really
Roll A,
help the
dissolve.
Louisville, because Louisville's one
Don't worry
of the
about
worst
music.
Defensive teams
Right.
in all of football.
Stand by
Defensive
ENG1
teams.
under.
And the offense wasn't a whole lot better. So yes, there's a lot of room to climb.
So the elephant in the room is Jeff Brom. He is
Dissolve
the
ENG1.
football coach today, and you have to wonder if there's any apprehension or hesitation on Satterfield's part.
Put
and his
X
part.
big. Cue up the Jeff Brom.
Jeff Brom is a known commodity, not just here in Louisville, but across the country as a football coach. Satterfield is
Stand by
is
X full.
not that guy.
Actually, pull this.
No, it's different. It's,
Yeah, we'll just go
there's
X
no
full.
reason, there's no way you can get around.
You have a
it.
banner for it?
Something you have to
Anything?
talk about. This room,
Stand by
this room we're
X.
sitting in, was not held for press conferences or media interviews. When Bobby Petrino came back last time, this room was filled with fans. It was a victory reception for Bobby. It's not
Put Emmy
full
one
right
in the
now.
returns.
So Satterfield is coming in. The expectations are not as high as they have been for past coaches. And yet, there's some advantage to that. There's some advantage to, as Howard Schnellberger said, take over at rock bottom and getting to build up. He liked that challenge, and we'll see if Satterfield is that kind of coach. As far as fans, I think this press conference is important, but even more important are the early.
Stand by. Put live view 2 in the big box.
To be around him, to hear from him. If he says the right things, if he relates to people well, then I think it'll be fine.
Stand by. Emmy 2 under.
Till that first game starts, and then you have to start winning.
That's right. And winning cures all, that's for sure. We've just been told that the Athletic Association Board is still meeting right now, but we are expecting that
Stand by
press
Emmy
conference
1.
to begin as soon
Clean.
as that
Stand by
meeting
Studio
is
A.
over. We'll expect the Athletics Director Vince Tyre to escort Satterfield down here and do those comments to begin. But for now, we'll talk back to you guys in the
Stand by
studio
2.
as we prepare for the announcement of U of L's new head football coach.
And Micah, take 2. Camera 2, start pushing in.
And Rick Bozich. Just to talk a little bit more about this, you've been following Scott Satterfield.
Stand by camera 3.
News is about to happen. How do you think his
With
style
his name.
as a leader and a coach will work here in Louisville? What is his style?
Take
That's
3.
a great question. I talked to Joe Jacoby today, former U of L player who's got some
Stand by
familiarity
A.
with him and said he reminds
Under.
him of a guy like Joe
We have a
Gibbs,
banner.
who coached the Redskins to 3 Super Bowl victories. He's a low-key guy, doesn't curse. He's more of an encourager.
Relay
than a
dissolve.
guy who's like screaming. He's got more of an understated style.
Set up a 2 to 1.
He's been at App State his whole career.
But
That'll be the biggest challenge, I think,
camera
for him, is to get away
3
from the comfort
and
zone
A.
if they're at Appalachian State
Stand by,
and come into a whole different cultural
reverse it.
environment.
Stand by 2. Stand by 2. Dissolve 2.
As Travis alluded to, the town's population is about 18,800.
Yeah, the
Stand
school
by
is-
Emmy 2.
it's
Make sure he
not
looks at
just
camera
the
3.
NFL, but you're going up into a
3
different
tilt down.
conference against higher ego coaches and expectations, and everybody else has all the trinkets. to recruit
Stand by
guys, and now he's gonna
camera
have to
3
deal
full.
with,
Take 3 full.
expectations that really
Camera
weren't there
1,
last
can you
year.
chuck
gotta
right and
get
just get the LEDs?
Players, boosters, and administration.
Put stand by 2. Take 2.
What does success look like for Satterfield here? He's
Stand by
taking
Emmy
over a
2.
2-10.
Stand by,
Louisville
put
football
camera
team
1.
Is a 6-6 season next year. A success.
Camera
for him?
1.
I think that would be a 100%
No.
success
On
for
Emmy
him
2.
because
Stand by camera 1
as
full.
they alluded
Take
to, as
1.
Eric Crawford said, when
Put
you
camera
take
1
over
as your
rock
camera.
bottom, you
Put
can
Emmy
only
2 in the
go up.
returns.
You will go up
Stand by
to
Emmy
10.
2.
So Satterfield,
And
I think it's
relay
gonna be a
dissolve.
honeymoon period here for sure. No, he's not Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom certainly would have gotten a.
Do we have a banner?
Maybe a longer honeymoon
Add banner.
period. But Satterfield
Say that
is coming
again.
in here
After
to
this,
try
they're
to
gonna generic
rebuild
toss
this
the
thing.
break.
And
Stand
to
by
bring a
2.
culture that is severely
Under.
lacking at U of L.
Stand by
I
2.
think,
Take.
3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins. That may be plenty in this first year, but now he's got to work his way up. Rick talked about the recruiting thing. Yeah,
Flag him to camera
thing I
1.
think that people
Just
that
keep
have
pointing
followed
at
his
1.
career or have learned about Scott Satterfield was he was able
I
to
know.
recruit not just North Carolina and not just Tennessee, which is across the mountain. He was able to recruit
Lose the banner.
Georgia and Florida, and those
Stand
are
by
2
2
very
with.
important pieces of the recruiting puzzle for Louisville. So if he can get the guys to from those states who are very good, even second, third tier
Yes,
players
yes,
from
yes.
those
Stand by
states are
2.
great
Dissolve
football
2.
players. He can get those guys to come to Appalachian State. He can surely get those guys to come to play in the ACC and play for Louisville.
And that's good news because U of L has lost 6 recruits in the past
Stand
month.
by 3.
Yeah, not only that,
Decommitments, yeah.
decommitments, and then he's
Stand by 3.
one thing I think
Take
that
3.
a lot of people will
Stand by
expect
camera
him to do
1.
is recruit the state of Kentucky.
Take
That
1.
was one of- that
Stand
was
by
a real
2.
strike against Bobby Petrino was he started losing not just in-state
3,
recruits,
give me
he was
Rick.
losing in-city recruits. And
3,
that's
give me a
right.
bump. 3, give me a bump. Stand by 2. Take 2.
And Milton Wright,
Stand by camera 3.
At the Cardinal Stadium.
The next
Try to
chapter
lose
for
Rick.
U of L football
Stand by
is
live view
expected
2. Stand by live view
to
2.
begin at any moment now where we will hear from new coach
Do you have that
Scott
for me, Brendan?
Satterfield
Yeah,
at
4041.
press conference at any second. We're gonna
Dissolve.
take a break right now and
Stand by to
bring
fade
you
to
that
black.
press conference as soon
Addy
as
1.
it begins. Keep going.
And stand by to fade to black. And fade to black. Roll your break. Stand by camera 2. Yeah, camera 2, give me a nice big shot here.
5, 4,
Stand by camera 2.
2, 1. You're
Up on 2.
Welcome back to WDRB News, where all eyes are on the University of Louisville, where we are expected to hear from new head football coach, Scott Satterfield in minutes. Of course, Satterfield's coming in
On
and
Emmy
replacing
1,
Bobby Petrino, who was
put
fired in the middle of
Live
last
View
season
2 on the
with
right.
a 2-8 record. And interestingly enough, Rick, Petrino's house actually went on the market.
Stand by Emmy 3.
Yesterday went on the market. Gilbert. It's
Roll
been
A,
23 days since
take.
Bobby Petrino was removed as the coach. I've talked to several of his friends, guys who've coached with him.
Izzy, stand by 2, or stand by 3, full, dissolve 3,
Haven't been able to get in touch with him.
add
Put him in
E1,
for an interview and
stand by
didn't
2,
hear anything
clean,
back,
take
so
2.
We really don't know where he's at or what he's doing, but I would expect he would leave town.
Rick, you've been a sports journalist in the Louisville
Stand by to
market
put
for
X
40
as your big
years.
box. See what he says
8
here.
different coaching changes, head coaching changes at the University of Louisville.
Stand by 3.
What is the expectation for this hire in Scott Satterfield?
Put A
Well,
back
the
in there.
expectation is now that Louisville's in the ACC.
Stand
which
by
is different than the
3, take 3.
previous hires, just to get back to being
Stand by A,
competitive
full.
again. Because Louisville had been so good 2 or 3 years ago, where they were that close to making the national playoff, I think that got fans' expectations higher than they had been in the
Roll A,
past.
dissolve.
So first they want to see the team become competitive again, because
Add
they weren't
E1.
competitive at all this year down the stretch. They were getting beat by 40, 50, 60 points. And then from that point forward, then move up
Stand by
in the
2.
ACC Atlantic Division.
Stand by 2, dissolve
and
2.
maybe get back up there where they're challenging Clemson as they were a couple
Dissolve
years ago.
2.
We've talked about Scott Satterfield's coaching and leadership styles. Let's talk a little bit about Scott Satterfield, the person. 45 years old with a wife and 3 kids. He was a former QB at Appalachian State. Before he coached there, he spent most of his life there. What kind of guy is he? What
Stand
have
by
you seen
Emmy
as
2.
far as his news conferences and his interaction with fans and players?
Well, he
Roll A,
looks like a guy
take.
who's personable. I mean, when you look at the media interactions that he had, he's a personable guy. As Rick said, he's not a guy who curses a lot, if at all. Certainly a 180 from what we've
kind of
seen on the
gnats are there on
sidelines
A?
at Cardinal Stadium. But one of the things you talked about his family life.
Stand by
he
2.
really understands. He said when a coach leaves or
Stand by
gets
camera
fired,
3.
you don't worry about the head coach. You worry about the families of the coaches, all the entire staff.
Dissolve
In fact,
3.
When he was at
Stand by
Appalachian
camera
State, one of
1.
the things that he did was he would pay for
Take
the
1.
assistants' wives
Stand
to
by
go out
2.
to have spa days, to do different things, because he knows that the family obligations.
Going back to
as
the
he said,
banner.
when you move, it's a lot of
Stand by
times it's up
2.
to the wives and the families to find new doctors, to find all these things you have to do when you're new in town. You know,
Take
while,
2.
while your husbands are away and working
Stand by 1.
18-hour days. So he understands that kind of commitment. He's not a guy who coaches in a bubble.
Stand by 3. Stand by 3.
WDRB
Stand by.
to have is such experience in sports in this market on this desk. Between the two of you, there's about 60 years covering sports.
We're
in
old,
this
is what you're
market.
saying, yes.
That's
Stand
not-
by
that's
1.
not what I'm saying. But even though we don't know the terms of a contract yet, we do know that Scott Satterfield was making about $700,000 a year at Appalachian State, and experience tells us that the contract here is going to be.
We should have one more camera for the
5
anchors.
years. You've never seen an entry coach come in with less than
Stand by
5
3.
years?
Stand by
these
3.
days, I
Take
don't
3.
remember. It used to be maybe get 4 coming in. Nowadays, guys are getting 6 or 7. I
2,
would
stay
say
on,
maybe at least 5 years, maybe 6, because he's
Stand by
coming
camera
into a
2,
intense
or stand by
situation
camera
where he's gonna
1.
have to
Sports
totally
teams music.
rebuild the locker room,
Take
and
1.
the talent level. He's got a short recruiting season this year.
Stand by
To get
3.
him back
Stand by
to the
Emmy
league,
3.
He's going to need at least 5
Roll
years.
A, dissolve.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't at least 5
Stand by
years.
2.
And in
Shit.
terms of salary, is it plausible for him to double, even
We'll stay
triple
here.
that $700,000
Oh, I would think,
in
yeah, I would
salary?
think, when
Stand
you
by
look at all
2.
the coaches in Power 5 schools, very few, if any, are making, there's only a few that are making less than $2
Dissolve
million
2.
a year. I would think would be in the 2 to
Stand
3
by
million
Emmy
range
1.
somewhere in
Camera
there.
2, loosen up.
That's what
Stand by
drew,
camera 1. One on John. One on
Scott
John.
Satterfield, it was the transition
Take
that he and
1.
Appalachian State made from
Stand by 2.
FCS to FBS. They made that what used to be 1AA up to 1A.
2, tighten up just a
It was
little
very
bit.
Successful. So you take over a
Pan
team
left.
that's in the ACC but only won 2 games.
Stand by 2.
This seems like a guy who can make that transition. But as
Take
Rick
2.
said, you've got to give him time to do this. So I would
Stand by Emmy
I'd
1.
be really shocked if it was less than 4 years.
We need to take a quick
with the
break.
and
We will be
dissolve.
right back as our live coverage
Stand by
continues. We are still waiting on the
fade to
announcement
black.
that
Stand by
Scott
break.
Satterfield is the next UofL
Stand by live view
football
2
coach.
under.
We will be right back after this.
And dissolve. Stand by to fade to black. And fade to black. Roll your break. Stand by. Here we come. Standing by. Standing by.
1, you're up.
Up on it. Mic
As we
cue.
wait for Scott Satterfield to
Stand by to push
introduce
back.
the new U of L head football coach. We are live in studio with Rick Bozich
And
Tom
push
Lewis
back.
to talk a little bit more about the
Stand by
expectations for the new
to
coach
hot punch
and
here.
his
Stand by to hot
background.
punch here.
What about the
Stand by
assistant
camera one.
coaches that will work for him?
Stand by
at
camera
Louisville?
three.
Do you expect him to keep any of the current assistants?
Stand by
Will he bring
one.
some from
Who's gonna
Appalachian
talk?
State?
Elizabeth, I think he'll
Take three.
bring a large number of them. I looked at a lot of their bios. A number of them are also App State guys, so they're part of the App State family.
Stand by two.
I'm sure if they want to stay there, they'd be welcome to stay,
Yeah.
because most people
We're gonna
think
stay here
one of
for
the
a sec.
coordinators will stay there and be named
Stand by
the new
two.
head coach at App State. It's been a place
Take
that's been
two.
voted within. But one thing he'll have to do moving forward is he'll have to add some coaches anyway. The staff there isn't as large as the staff here, and he needs to get somebody. I think
Stand by-
he knows the Kentucky,
Stand by three,
Southern
take three.
Indiana, Ohio recruiting area, because although
Stand
he
by
can
one.
definitely focus on Georgia and Alabama and
Take
Florida,
one.
he's also going to be able to get some
Stand by
guys
two.
here. So you need to have somebody that has some contact with the high school coaches.
Let's talk about expectations
Take
for
two.
him too. We saw what just happened.
Stand by
at Western
camera.
Kentucky.
One
How
on
long
Rick,
do you
or one
think
on
the
John,
fan
one on
base
John.
Will give Scott Satterfield to turn things around.
Stand by
Until
three.
the first couple tweets come out. I mean,
Right.
in today's social media, I mean,
Take
it's
three.
over in 20 seconds. I
Three
mean, it
till
seemed like
done.
with Bobby Petrino this year, once they lost, this is a guy who had a large winning record and a lot of goodwill built up in the fan
Yeah,
base.
he needs to be
And
eye
once they
level.
lost a couple of those games, the fan
Stand by
base
two.
flipped on
Stand by
them
two
completely.
full.
So,
Stand by two dissolve.
you're right. What we saw at Western Kentucky this year set a new two
Dissolve
years.
two.
Usually you got 5, then it was 4. Now we're down to 2. It's like, when are we going to get to 1?
Yeah, I'm not a football analyst, but yeah, I've watched pros and
It's
I've
crazy.
watched particularly in college football. You've
Talk to
got
John.
4 years to build your program, is what it would seem, and that's just no longer the case in today's landscape.
Stand by
It's like the
ME3.
NFL almost. You got some coaches get 1 year,
A.
and if you don't do it in 1 year, they're like, well, sorry. I mean, we saw it happen to Jim Moore at the Seattle Seahawks. We saw it happen to in a lot of places.
And
you know, and
relay
I
take.
wonder if there was, maybe
Fine.
more to it, but I think the reason that we saw
Stand
so
by
many
two.
fans kind of flip on Bobby Petrino is because not only were they losing, the effort on the field just wasn't
gotta get
there. And
camera
that's
four
what
leveled
goes
as
right
well.
back to coaches. I mean,
Stand by
you
two, stand by
coach
two
effort,
dissolve.
and you've got to get effort out of your players that they weren't getting.
Let's
Dissolve.
drill into that. So you have Bobby Petrino on his second run at the University of Louisville, has
Stand
been
by X.
successful in winning no matter where he's been in the college ranks. Taking over a team that is in the top 5, that is in the top 10, and in that national championship conversation. How did U of L fall off the cliff? Ultimately, the question from fans
Stand by
is, how did
X.
it
Stand by
get so
ME3 with
bad?
X.
Well, 2 words: Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was not there anymore, and you have to wonder how.
Rolex.
We knew Lamar
Take.
Jackson was good. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. How good was
Lose
he
the
that
banner.
when he leaves?
Do we have a
this
different
team
banner
falls to
for-
2 and
I
10.
don't know.
I mean,
Stand
that
by
was just
two.
that was amazing. I mean,
Stand
I
by
think
to hot
that was
punch B.
maybe the biggest factor that Lamar Jackson was not
Roll
there
B,
being the
take.
quarterback, of that team. And
Stand
maybe
by
being
camera
kind of a
two.
leader that, there was some question if he was really a leader. I think he might have been. I
Stand by
think he
two,
might
dissolve
have
two.
been a cohesive leader in that. And then once he was gone, it's 2 and 10. I mean, that just
Dissolve
to
2.
me speaks like that. That was like
Stand by
one
camera one.
big element that was missing.
And Satterfield's record is 10-2, which is kind of
Right.
ironic. Yeah.
We have to have crew watching this live
Stand by
out
live
at the
U2.
University of Louisville. Travis
Stand by
Ragsdale,
ENG1
Tom
with-
Lane, Eric Crawford. Again, we are extending our coverage right now. Normally we go off
On
the air, but we
ENG1,
can use it for at,
put
at
ENG1.
5 o'clock. We're extending our coverage right now.
Stand by
because,
ME1.
This announcement is such a big deal.
Are we
to
tossing
the
to
folks
him?
in our community
Take.
that we want to hear the first words of
Stand by
U of L's
ENG1
football coach
under.
in Scott Satterfield. Guys, you are watching Eric Crawford, Travis Ragsdale from U of L. What's the scene and the mood there? And do you have any idea what's behind the
Camera
delay?
four
Are
starting
they
to look
still
good. Thank
negotiating
you.
Behind closed doors?
Yeah, so right now the board is still meeting, the Athletic Association's board
Take.
is still meeting, and just one thing we want to point out here is Scott Satterfield's contract is not the only thing that's being
All right,
discussed
preview
there.
camera
There
four.
are lingering issues with the
Iris down
previous
just a little bit.
football staff that are having to be dealt with right
Hold.
now as well.
Camera
Yeah,
4,
so
pan left.
Most of the staff was let go earlier today, so there's questions about
Thank you.
severance and contracts and those obligations. There's also discussion, and there's a proposal
All right, stand by
on the
A,
table to lower football
under.
ticket prices, and this has been under discussion for some time, not just with the recent football team struggles, but what we expect to see if this is indeed voted through.
ME1
is
put
a lot
camera
of ticket
4 on the
prices,
far
especially
left.
for the general public to go back to
On
2017
ME2,
levels. Ticket prices
put,
were up
ENG1
last
on the
season.
right.
I think people can expect to see prices go back down.
Put
next
A
season,
on the
and
left.
Part of this is just part of a broader initiative by Vince Tyree to kind of make the games more fan accessible. They've lowered the price of concessions. They've done a lot of things to try and be more fan friendly, because not just losing games this year,
Right.
but crowds and attendance is going down in college football all over the place.
Across the board, and
I
would
don't know
imagine
anything about that.
part of the
I mean, we're going over till this is over,
get
so
people back in seats here.
this may bleed into 6. Who knows?
Scott Satterfield's going to play a role in that too. How does he win over this fan base over the next
Stand by
9
ME2.
months before football
Stand by
season
A.
begins next August?
I think in that sense, he's fortunate.
Roll A, dissolve.
Because Bobby was not
Nats, if
a
you
guy
can.
that was a master of public relations.
No.
That's putting it kindly.
not the second,
He,
but yes.
he was a great coach when he had it going. But I think if Scott Satterfield can come in and be himself and just give
Put
fans some
ME1 in the
access,
returns.
I think giving media some
I'm gonna get
access.
Steph
A lot of
Stand by
success
E and G,
in
stand by 2
public
dissolve.
health is how well you're able to use the media, social media in some cases. We see what Chris Mack is doing with basketball, and he's had some success with that. But all really Satterfield can do is be himself and try and figure out how within that he can
Stand by
relate to
ME2.
fans, talk to fans, talk about his own
Dissolve.
experience, talk about how he's built a winner in Appalachian State, how he might do it here, and just sit down and have a conversation. And that goes a long way with most fans.
Mike, live view 1. Mic check, live view 1.
And this
Line
is
3?
not unheard of, having a delay before
Line
the
3?
announcement conferences. Announcement
Which
press
IFB is he
conferences.
on?
Certainly happened when Chris Mack was announced as the new U of L
Okay.
head
He will be
men's
on
basketball
stand by
coach. I
ENG
think
1
that was-
under.
I mean, we waited an
Dissolve.
hour and a half before that press conference actually started while these meetings were going on ahead of time.
Pause A.
How
Or yeah,
does
you're good.
Satterfield
We need
win
Stefan
today?
mic check.
I think I hear people
He's on
on
the same
talk about
slider.
win the press conference, win the
On
first
what?
press
Same slider as what?
conference
Is what they're
to,
talking on
to
right
make
now.
these
Just-
fans
it's working fine.
buy
Just be
into
very
what
careful.
he's selling.
Well, you
as
could
far as the future of this program.
Put him on
Well,
that if you want.
what he has
Or,
accomplished
you know.
at Appalachian State
I could,
is
don't
something
know.
special.
I got you.
Because it was not a program that anybody was not even on the radar.
It was
I
an
hear
FCS
him.
program
We got him.
4 years ago.
Subdivision, that's right. It went from the
He's good.
1AA, the FCS level, up to the major level, and in that time, after one losing
You've got
season,
time,
he's
just
won
try, because,
10
they may
games a
toss
year
to each
for 4
other.
years. He's got to kind of tap into what he's been able to do, what about his approach, what about what they do, has built this really
Yeah, they're gonna toss Stefan Johnson.
impressive
Okay, so
and
put on ME1
remarkable success he's had at
or
that
on
level.
ME3
He
put
can find a way
ENG
to kind of tap into that
1
share
and live
that
view
with
1.
fans and share what his vision's done at Appalachian State and how he thinks it can work at Louisville.
He got it
And
in
that
line two.
does it. I mean, there's
He's on
something
line
there. There
2.
may be a story, there may be an experience.
Stand by A.
Something has to be unique.
Under.
His
Roll A,
experience.
dissolve.
Nobody can
Stand
really
by
write for him.
ENG
But, you know,
1.
we saw Charlie Strong get up there. He had not been a head coach at all, and Charlie shed a tear or two. And he won that press conference in that moment because you could see how much the job meant to him. And whatever Satterfield's moment will be, he needs to kind of tap into that for himself and make that happen. And that's how you win those press conferences.
Dissolve.
So those meetings are still
Stand by
going on
ME3.
upstairs here at
Clean.
Cardinal Stadium. Our Stefan Johnson is
Take.
monitoring those
Stand by
meetings
live
as
view
well.
1.
Stefan joins us live now. Stefan.
And
You can turn around, Joe.
take. Bring his mic down. Mic and cue.
We are on the third floor of the Cardinal Center, which is the Brown and Williamson Club. Waiting
On ME3
for,
put
Scott Satterfield to
A.
appear with Vince Tyree
Yeah.
and be introduced as University of Louisville's new head coach. About 20 or 30 minutes ago, I was upstairs at the board meeting with Dr. Neely Bindapudi. They approved some minutes and then went immediately
Put live view
into
2.
executive session, and of course we all had to leave. the
Keep a
room.
sub-layer
We
live,
were told we were
Brendan,
gonna
if
do
you're able
that
to.
for being an executive session. They were guesstimating about 20 or 30 minutes, and then there would be a short meeting.
Go ahead and dissolve.
And then come out of the room. There's speculation that they're talking about salary and some other things, but we do know that Scott Satterfield is in the building, expected to be introduced very soon. There's a lot of speculation in the room.
Who's he
going
gonna toss to?
There are a few people, but in front of me, there are a couple of hundred
Back to
people.
Travis?
A lot of fans
Back to the
have
studio?
left, have been a
All right, so
little
ME1 put,
There's a lot
live view
going on
1.
today. The women
Camera
play
4 and live view 1.
Today, Chris Mack is, of course,
There you go.
expected to have
Camera 4, loosen up
a
just a
press
little bit,
conference
please.
As well today.
Put
But
ME1 in the
a lot of,
returns.
people are waiting to meet the new football coach.
Stand by live
so
view
I
1
checked
under.
some things. I looked on Wikipedia, and according to Wikipedia, he is already the University of Louisville football coach in his former position at Appalachian State, where he has been for the last several years, is now vacant. Also learned some interesting news about this coach. He is offensive minded because he spent
Dissolve.
several years as a quarterback at the school where he
ME2,
coaches,
put live view
also
1 and A.
coaching
Put
there.
live view 1 in the small box.
3-0 in bowl games.
On ME2.
So a lot of
ME2.
fan base here in Louisville, they like that excitement. They like coaches that put a lot of points on
Stem
the
by,
board.
no. Put A right where you had it.
Fans have said they don't know much about.
Now live
but
view
you
2.
may
Or
remember,
live view 1, I'm sorry, live view 1.
Bobby Petrino.
All right, stand by ME2.
Fans didn't know a lot about
Roll A
it.
dissolve.
Started putting numbers on the board. Charlie Strong came from Florida. He was an assistant there, and other than coming from a big school, fans didn't know a lot about him either until he started.
Stand by live
So,
view
the
1.
hope here is that the same thing will happen with Scott Satterfield, but again,
Stand by 2 dissolve.
his family arrived here. in
Stefan will be
Louisville,
tossing back to the anchors.
this
Camera 4,
afternoon.
tighten up.
Scott Satterfield and his wife and
Pen left if
children,
you can.
and so there's a lot of excitement.
Hold.
Again,
Pen right,
fans
ever so
and
slightly.
all here on the third floor.
Hold right
and
there.
Just 2 floors up, the board is meeting and perhaps going over some last minute
Dissolve.
details of the contract.
Stand by
As soon
ME3.
as they come out of that meeting, we expect him to walk through the doors or down the elevator and through those doors and right down here and up onto the
Dissolve.
podium in front of me and be introduced by Vince Tyree again.
Semi-live view
as
1.
We've been reporting he is Vince Tyree was the second choice. Of course, the first choice was Jeff Braun, who is a Louisville native and declined a chance to come back home. And Scott Satterfield, as the sports guys may have pointed out earlier.
Good job, everybody. We're doing a lot of stuff on the fly here. Good job.
To Louisville, but this is a big step up, and he will have
Dissolve live view 1. Stand by ME1 maybe.
Perhaps he did not have at his last school. So again,
And then
as
camera
soon
2's
as
on that
it's
4
happening,
shot. Thank
we
you.
will bring it to you live here.
Stand by Studio A.
And
Stand by Studio A.
online
Take
at
it.
WDRB.com.
Stand by 2.
Live at Cardinal Stadium. I'm Stefan Johnson, WDRB
Clean.
News.
Stefan, thank you. And I
And-
want to reset for those who may just be joining us. This is an extended edition of WDRB News.
Camera 2, you can start
Because
pushing
we're expected
in.
to hear from Scott Satterfield, the new head football coach
ME2,
for the University of Louisville.
put
Satterfield is
camera
coming from Appalachian State in North Carolina, where
2,
he's bringing a 51 and 24
and live view
record
2.
and a history with them that is almost
Reverse it.
ingrained in this school. He played there, guys. He was an assistant coach there, guys, and now he was a successful.
Stand by
head
camera
coach
1.
there. What kind of
Stand by camera
mindset
3.
when you are leaving
Put
this
camera 3 on
program
ME2.
that has nurtured you as
Stand by
not just a
ME2.
college player,
Do we have a
but
banner
as
we can
college
put up?
coach. When you are leaving
Addy 1.
your home den to come into a place that has high expectations and a lot more eyes watching you. What exactly must be going through, or do you think is going through Satterfield's head and his heart right now to step up to this huge job?
Yeah.
Well, it's a big challenge personally to make that kind of transition.
3
You go
tilt
from
up.
Somewhere where you've lived most of your life,
Take.
you go somewhere else. And if you look at his resume, he left twice.
Can you add the sub layer?
Both times. But I think it also shows a tremendous amount of self-confidence.
Stand by 2.
He's one of these guys who says, hey, I think I'm a pretty good football coach, and I want to compete against the best. And so I can get into the ACC Atlantic, and I'm going to go against Dabo Swinney, who's one of the best.
If somebody
coaches
could keep an
going
eye
right
on
now.
live view
So I'm
1,
going
because
for
that's
the
when we'll
national
first start to see
championship. I
him.
wanna go against Willie Taggart, who's expected to get Florida State going, and I think I'm a good coach. And if I really want to show that I am, I got to
Just ahead, just anybody.
There seems some
Take
movement in
2.
the room. Not sure if that's a sign this is about to take place, but again, we will take you there live as
Stand by
soon
4.
as Scott Satterfield is introduced as we continue to talk about him
Take
here.
4.
So what do you think?
Stand by
the
2.
biggest things he brings to the table? What are the biggest
Take 2.
positives he brings to the
Stand by
table?
3.
And what are his biggest obstacles
On
that he faces
ME3,
into the bell?
put
Well,
camera,
Elizabeth, I
take
talked
3,
to a
take
number
3
of
full.
coaches. It's sort of
Put
a
camera
a
3 on the
community
right on
where guys
ME3.
move around, they know each other, they know other people that know
And
these
then A
coaches.
on the left.
And a couple of assistant coaches I talked to yesterday say they think
Stand by
he's a really good
ME3,
fit for you
under.
because he's a guy who has
Roll A,
a
dissolve.
plan, and he recruits to that plan, and he knows what he wants to do. He's not going to try and come in here and be what Louisville fans want him to be. He's going to be what's worked for him.
Stand by
He's got
4.
a tremendous amount of confidence in
4,
what
give me the
he's
anchors in,
doing.
Rick.
I think he's
Stand by 1, take
recruiter,
1,
and
step,
not only that,
dang it,
the
dang it, dang
players
it, dang
here,
it.
he's
That's
a
our
good
first
talent
one.
developer. If you look at some of his lower ranked
Stand by
classes,
A.
those guys went on to be Sun Belt champions. Now, so that speaks to what he can
Stand by
do.
camera
Not only
3.
bring these players in.
Stand by
you get
camera
players
4.
who come to Appalachian State. Obviously nothing
Take
against
4.
Appalachian State, but you're getting players to come there to Boone, North Carolina, and you
Stand
turn
by
them into
A.
champions. And you get,
On
like
ME2.
you talked about earlier, you get guys from Georgia and Florida, places that Louisville
Put,
wants to bring in,
Stand
to
by-
recruit heavily.
Stand by 1, take
He won
1.
40 games after
On ME2,
the transition
put
from one
camera
AA to
2,
1A. that again is on his resume as here's a guy who can take
Reverse
over a
it.
program, move it up a notch. Now he did it in
Stand by,
Appalachian State,
and then put live
he's
view
got to kind of
2.
rebuild and move U of L back up a notch.
Stand
closer
by,
to where it was at
put
one
ME2 in the
time
returns.
under Bobby Petrino. So
Stand
I
by
think
2. Stand by
that's an
ME2.
advantage
Camera
and
2,
maybe,
loosen
as
up.
you
2,
said,
loosen
also
up. 2,
Boston.
loosen up. 2,
Yeah,
loosen
talk
up.
about
Take 2 full. Take 2
the
full.
team itself.
2 loosen
But
up.
How important is also reigniting the fan base, because we saw the pictures. You guys were out there at the
Tilt
stadium.
down.
A very expensive expansion, and the fans weren't in the seats that the
Stand by 2,
Cardinals
dissolve.
had previous.
Hold, dissolve.
How important
Stand by
is
the
it
hot
just
punch
getting
here.
the
Stand by the
Wolves
hot
fan
punch
base
here.
back into those seats to support
Stand by 1.
the program financially?
Oh, it's absolutely
Take 1.
important. And one way to do that is to put an offense on the field that will draw those fans in. He led the Sun Belt in scoring. His teams averaged about 36 points per game. Those are Petrino-like numbers at Petrino's height. That will get fans, U of L fans,
Yeah.
I think, excited if they can see
Stand
that.
by
Now, they may
2.
not see it next year, but when he starts to
Take
get that
2, wrap
transition
and what?
going,
We're
get
gonna
that
wrap and
offense into
toss-
place,
toss to Judge
I think
Judy.
that's something.
We're gonna
that
wrap
will
and toss
get
to
fans,
Judge Judy.
They like defense, sure, but I think offense is. Defense wins championships. Offense puts people in the seats.
Stand by. Stand by 3. 3 get Rick. 3 get Rick.
Look at 2 of the 3 teams,
Stand by
2 of the
3.
4 teams that are
Take
in the national
3.
playoff come and play
In the box.
with
In the
them.
box.
They open the season against Notre
We're gonna
Dame,
stay here.
and then Clemson comes in here. So
Stand by
playing-
2.
You got marquee teams coming here to play. Fans should get excited to come out and see those teams, even if they are not as excited about Louisville as they have been.
Take 2.
Still waiting for this announcement to take place. We have
Stand by
decided to
live
return to
view
the
2
regular programming.
under.
We're
Stand
gonna
by live view
bring
2 under with
the
that 4041.
progress. We will
Dissolve.
bring this announcement
Music.
live as soon
Stand by
as
the
it
fade to
happens.
black.
It's
Stand by your
scheduled
break
to,
master.
Take place at 4:30. So after a 45-minute delay, as the board is still meeting at U of L Cardinal Stadium, we will take you to programming, but we'll
Stand by.
return to U of L as soon as Scott Satterfield is introduced as the new U of L head football coach. Thanks for staying with us.
And fade to black. Roll your break.
So can we just need to stick in place and take it as soon as it's